Hello, my name is Pylon John. Welcome back to the burgeoning town of Montmaquis on the popular Mountain Village map in Cities Skylines 2. You'll notice right away I've redrawn the starting grid, make it a little more appropriate for an old European town. The blocks are smaller and tighter, and the main streets run parallel to key features like the surrounding roads and the river. Here I'm gonna zone in some row housing. Some of them 3 units deep, some 2 units deep. Hit play and see what happens. Well, we can't see a whole lot because it's nighttime, so I'll turn off the day-night cycle for visibility's sake for now. Obviously, very little tax revenue at the moment. Taking a look at our economy tab here. So we've got some row houses, and now I'm gonna zone in some low density residential as well, single family units. Again, varying sizes to see what we get. A little deeper into the residential grid here. Now let's take a look at what's going on over in our commercial area, and those two identical buildings right next to each other. No, I'll get rid of that one. What else have we got? Teak's Tool Company, Crazy Colibri, Patback Medical, a nice bookstore. What's this? Oh, vehicles, yeah. And it looks like our row houses are coming in now. We've got our first one and it's all black, and I'm not sure if I like that. Yeah, I'm not crazy about that for our old town here. These look a little nicer. I like that look a little better. Now on the right we've got 2 deep, and on the left we've got 3 deep, and I think I like the 2 deep row houses better. Let's go back to Grenoble here, take a look at the old town, see what kind of look we're going for. Small, tightly packed blocks, buildings all the way around. Some of them have kind of a courtyard in the middle, and all red roofs. It'd be cool if we could do that in the game. Let's go back here and shorten our row houses. Make them 2 units deep. They are now condemned, waiting to be demolished. And over to our low density residential, our single family homes, we're gonna make those 2 units deep as well. We'll go 2 units deep all the way around the grid, I think, make it look nice and uniform, like in the image we just saw from the old town of Grenoble. No, I don't want these parking lots here. Park on the road. Now I'm gonna scooch this street over using the road upgrade function, turn off all snapping, and we get, yeah, maybe a couple of extra squares in our grid here. I'm also going to use this trick, the paths, place the paths in order to nudge the zoning grid over, in order to nudge these units over and get zoning in where I want it. Then we can remove those and zone in those spaces as well. Let's take a minute to get a bird's eye view of Montmaquis right here and zoom back in. We'll zone in some more low density commercial along our main strip here. Take a look at our traffic flow. Already, barely any population. We're seeing some spots turn yellow. Just 106 people. I don't want these gas stations here. I hope something else comes in. I know we'll need gas stations somewhere, but we'll also put some low density commercial along this collector road. Decided to go 3 deep here since we're going 2 deep inside the grid. We'll go 3 deep along this road. Just deleted a street I didn't really need and zoned there as well. And we've hit the milestone 2 already, small village milestone. Let's see what we've got. 2 more development points. I'll hang on to those for now. We now have access to medium density housing, taxation, loans, and schools, which I don't think we have enough of a population yet to support a school. But we are closing that gap in revenues. Oh, and we can now set our tax rates. Now, a flat tax is simply barbaric. We've got to adjust these. I've seen some people do this backwards, but you've got to have the lowest tax rates for the lowest income segment of the population. I mean, you gotta. That's just how things are done. Let's raise taxes for everybody, see what that does. Oh, let's see, they don't like that too much. Bring it back down. Let's see what effect that has on happiness. -2 effect on happiness now. A little lower. -1. A little lower. And no effect on happiness at this tax rate. Now let's increase our tax base by zoning in some medium density residential. Again, trying a few different sizes to see what we get. Those will start building right away. And while we're at it, we'll zone some more row houses. Again, using the path trick. Once we've got our grid lined up the way we want it, our zoning grid lined up the way we want it, we'll go ahead, delete those paths and zone that in as well. I kind of feel like the game is punishing me for trying to build an old town kind of grid, a smaller grid, one that's not completely square. First of all, it's giving me these weird gaps and breaks in the zoning grid, and I'm trying to fix those with this trick with the paths and also by nudging the roads over. That's, it's workable. I think the bigger problem is that the buildings aren't coming in blocks so much as in rows. I can't get those nice old town blocks like we saw a minute ago. And we'll zone in some low density commercial here, 2 squares deep along this. This is kind of an important street, a central street, runs through and connects to the highway. Oh, I might change that later on. Our medium density residential has come in, and we have 2 wide, 2 deep, and 2 wide and 3 deep gives us the same kind of buildings. And then the 3 wide, whether it's 2 deep or 3 deep, gives us the same type of building as well. And I think I like the bigger ones better. They kind of look more appropriate for our old town. Let's take a look at some pictures from Grenoble, of the old town of Grenoble. So we have mixed use buildings here, commercial on the lower level, residential upstairs. This is a more residential area. Narrow roads, parking on typically one side, 3, 4 or 5 floors up. That gives us a sense of what we're looking for here with these blocks. And I think I'm going to have to make my blocks bigger than I would like by deleting a few roads, if we want to get that same kind of effect and get nice blocks, nice old town blocks instead of just rows. I've also decided I need to move this street, or delete and rebuild this street. Maybe I could have just used the road upgrade tool to nudge it over, but I need this street to be closer to the commercial zone off that main road. So I'm gonna have to move it over and move the whole grid over and rebuild the grid again, I guess. Yeah, that's a little better for that street at least. There we go. So I feel like the game in some ways is rewarding this build style, in that I'm moving through milestones. I wouldn't call Montmaquis a small village quite yet, but that's the milestone that we're at. And I don't have to worry too much about money. I keep getting these cash injections every time I hit a milestone. So the game is kind of rewarding this slow, small town build style in that way. But with the grid, like I said, I feel like I'm being kind of punished here. I decided I was going to try to build according to the logics of an actual city more than the logics of a computer game. Not trying to min-max everything, for example. Like in Cities Skylines 1, I always zoned everything to the max. I always zoned the grid 4 squares deep. 4 was the max in Skylines 1, of course. Now it's 6. 6 squares deep. Anyway, here I am just smoothing out the terrain a little bit, a little landscaping. Now let's get a look at the new grid, our 3rd attempt. I don't know, I'm losing count. Anyway, get a look from above here. And now we'll start rezoning, starting with the medium density residential. 2 squares deep, 3 wide. Add in our row housing here, also 2 deep, and 2 squares deep with our low density single family homes as well in these corners here where it's a little quieter. Now let's go over, I almost forgot, I zoned a little bit of industrial because there was demand for it. People need to work. Let's see what we've got here. Lack of labor. Yeah, we'll get some more residential zoning in a bit. And here's what we've got. That's a pretty nice building. That's our medium density residential. 3 squares wide, 2 squares deep. Looking pretty nice. 326 Empire Street. We'll have to rename the roads eventually. And we're actually making money now. Our tax revenue is now sufficient to put us in the black. Somehow. I guess it helps that we're not offering any services yet. And here we take a look at a row house with a no pedestrian access icon as we hit the large village milestone somehow. We've got access to livestock farming, stone mining, fire and rescue, all kinds of stuff that we don't need yet. Let's go down and have a look at how the street looks. That's pretty nice. And it's now autumn in Montmaquis. Montmaquis looks great in the fall. Just ignore all the high rent icons popping up. Now I'm gonna mess around with these paths again, try to get zoning the way I want it, and then delete the paths, but then I have to delete the houses that grew in as well to get them to the right size. Otherwise, they're just gonna leave these little 1 unit wide gaps and nothing's gonna grow there. Let's take a look at traffic again, a little bit. Some spots are yellow already. We'll have to keep an eye on that. But that'll be all for today. Thank you so much for watching episode 2 of Montmaquis. Feel free to like, subscribe, share your thoughts in the comments below. I'm Pylon John. Until next time, Free Palestine.